Hello all, welcome to Clark Technologies, and we are very happy to announce that we are going to provide a free course for MuleSoft for all the freshers and beginners and who want to learn MuleSoft from scratch. This is entirely free course which we are going to release on day by day basis. So it will be a 30 days course. So it is very helpful for you to learn MuleSoft from scratch. And we have explained this course with the real-time project. We have built a real-time project also. In order to explain that, we have created a couple of files and project code as well. So if you want to get those files and projects, please email us with this subject line, request to share level 1 course file. Also, we have an important announcement that we are planning to release a MuleSoft advanced level 2 course very soon. So in this course we will be discussing most of the topics of MuleSoft, which will help you very well in order to complete level 2 certification as well as to work on complex real-time projects as well. So I hope you will be enjoying that course as well. So if you want to know more details about advanced level course, please contact us via mobile or email. We will be sharing those details. So without further delay, let's get started. Hello all, welcome to Clear Technologies. So this is another video of our 45 days course. So in this video, we will discuss about a couple of routers available in MuleSoft. It depends on your project requirement. You should choose these routers accordingly as per your requirements. But in terms of interview point of view, we have to know what are the different routers available in Mule4, how to use them, and what is the use of those routers. So that is why I have created a new project for this to demonstrate these three routers. Most probably we are going to use like choice router only. This is the one we used. We are going to use majorly. But we have another routers. Those are like first successful and round robin, like that. We have couple of routers apart from choice router. If you can go to this core, see choice, first successful, round robin, scatter gather. These four are the major routers available. We will discuss all these things one by one. But scatter gather is a different one. So we will see that in another separate video. We will see other three in this video. Okay, and we have a couple of scopes, async scope for each, parallel for each. So few until successful. Okay, so all the major scopes, major routers, and most used components we will discuss one by one in our next at least next couple of 5-6 videos from today onwards. Okay, later on we will discuss about the Salesforce or other topics if we have anything, right? So yeah, I have created a new project for this. As I said, I just created a new project. Nothing is there in this project as of now. I just drag and drop the HTTP listener. So let's configure this listener with 8087 or something, some other port, because I would like to run all these flows locally in debug mode to make you understand how it is executing. Right, so I'm just using another port. And the path is for in this flow we will discuss about choice router. So I can give choice router is the path. So I'll tell you what is the use of this choice router first. Before that, I'll just rename the flow name. Choice router example flow. Okay, right. So let's say if your requirement is like based on specific condition, it should execute some set of flows. For example, maybe if we consider our library example also, if the branch name is Hyderabad. If you are familiar with other programming languages, we will have this if-else statements. If one condition met, one condition satisfied, then it will execute the other child steps or child code of that particular condition, like that. So in our example, maybe let's consider that if a branch name is Hyderabad, okay, it should execute some code and it should show list of books available in Hyderabad branch. Okay, if branch name is, if we received branch name, from where we will receive that, I will tell you. If the branch name we received as Bangalore, it should show the list of books available in the Bangalore location, sorry, Bangalore branch of our library, like that. So how, from where we can receive these Hyderabad, Bangalore or values? Usually any front end system or any other system will trigger, say for example, in our case maybe we can take it like Abibus example, maybe. So what will happen when we search something like to and fro, Hyderabad to Bangalore or something, Bangalore to somewhere, if you search something like that, it will take that Hyderabad value or Bangalore value like a destination or a, origin kind of stuff. It will send those values to the database, and in database it will query the value and it will just get the response for that particular values. It will send that response to you in UI, right? So we should not bother about how Avibus website work and how Avibus database will work. All those I mean, all we need to know how we will get the URL from that particular request. So let me tell you, let me just add. So let's say something like if Abibus or some other system which is going to consume our API, they will send like localhost 8089 slash routers. This is our path actually. You can give what is the path we have configured here. So choice router. Let's say they will trigger this path with some values, like, I mean, query parameters like in branch Hyderabad. Let's say if someone click this Hyderabad button from their UI or their mobile app or whatever it may be, we will receive the URL in this format. This URL will get triggered. So from this URL, we need to capture the values. Like from this URL, we know like after question mark, any key value pairs available, those are query parameters, right? So after from this URL, what we can understand, like, so here there is one query parameter which is called branch, and value is Hyderabad. So whenever we receive this query parameter value as Hyderabad, the query parameter name is branch, but the value is Hyderabad. So whenever we receive this query parameter is branch and the value is Hyderabad, it should show, we need to write the code in such a way like it should show the list of books available in that particular Hyderabad branch. So from where you will get this Hyderabad, Bangalore, all these values from your URL. In that URL also, you will get these values by using the query parameters. Right? So in such a way, we need to write our code now, right? I mean, design our flow now. Okay, so let's say our URL is this is our query parameter. Copy this query parameter. How we can use this core, I mean this choice router, I will tell you. So let's say this listener is triggered by some UI or some other person. In our case, the client is postman. So because we ourselves we click this URL, we are calling this URL just for our testing practice purpose, right? So but in your real time, some other client or some end user, as I said earlier, some front end system, anything will trigger this flow. Okay, yeah. So yeah, let's say we will receive this query parameter and the value, we can just get the value dynamically. So based on this query parameter, we will route the flows with different conditions. And this choice router is again also called as content based routing. So based on the content we received, it will route the flows and it will execute the code in that particular flow. So that is why it is called content based routing as well. Okay, so let's add one logger before choice router, because we will just run this in debug mode. We will see how what will happen. So logger, maybe I can just add before choice router. Okay, and then now let's drag and drop the choice router. So if you have any requirement in your project, like based on some particular condition, it should execute some set of components or some set of flow counts, you should go with choice router. So you need to understand in MuleSoft there are lot of connectors, lot of routers, lot of scopes, everything, or core connectors, everything. We have lot many things. At least you should know what are the major components and what are the major things we are going to use in our real-time projects. So you need to know what component is for which purpose, the usage of that component, and when if any suitable requirement come in your project, you should be in a way like at least you should recollect which component you need to use in this particular situation, like that. Okay, so that's why just remember all these components and remember the usages of this component. You no need to remember the syntaxes and all, maybe we can just google it or something, but you need to know what are the different connectors available. It means like what is the usage of those connectors, when we need to use those connectors. So if you have this basic idea at least, so in your real-time project, if you have any requirement, you can at least think like, okay, this will be possible in MuleSoft. We can use this particular component to fulfill this requirement. Like that. At that stage, you should be there. So that's why please do practice more. Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I just drag and drop the choice router. Na? So these are all called routes. We can add as many as conditions you have in choice router. There is no limitation. But how this choice router will work, it will do check all the conditions one by one. If any particular condition is satisfied, then it will go inside to that particular block and it will execute the components into that particular block. So what we can do, let me add three conditions. One is Bangalore, Hyderabad, and another thing is branch Delhi. Okay. Delhi, right. Okay, fine. So let me add these three conditions. I'll show you how we can add this. Then we will discuss more. So to add any condition, you need to use when block. So we don't have any when something like that. When block, nothing is there. So by default, whenever you drag and drop the choice router, it will show you one when and one default block. So when block means here you need to write your condition, which condition you need to check to satisfy and to execute the components inside this particular block. So to add any one more condition, you will just drag and drop any component. For now, I am just drag and drop the logger just here. Once you see this black vertical line is there, na? If you can drop this logger here, it will add another condition. Sorry, not here. So here. Okay. If you see this vertical black line here, after this choice component, once you drag and drop it, see, it is going to add another when condition for you. So like that, if you want to add as many as conditions, you can just drag and drop any component once. After this black line appears, it will add those many conditions for you, those many when blocks for you. You need to write the condition, of course, but to add these when blocks, you can use this trick. Okay, so let me add all the conditions one by one. So you can just rename it choice router to check branches. Maybe you can write in this way. Okay, this is just a display name. So the actual conditions we can write. See, all the red marks are there na, for when conditions. So all the when conditions you should write the actual condition. Okay, so let's just click on this when. Enable this function. Here you need to write your the condition which it should like. So in our case, we need to check this query parameter value. If we receive Hyderabad, if we receive Bangalore, or if we receive Delhi, something. So all these three options we need to check. So to read any query parameter, the syntax we have already seen, like attributes dot query params dot your query parameter name. This is our name. Our query parameter name is branch, right? So you can maybe keep it in single quote. So this query parameter is equal to what is the name? Value. What is the value? Hyderabad. All small letters. It is case sensitive. If you give small letters here, just send the all small letters in the postman also. If you are going to send this init cap, and you need to configure the condition also with init cap, like that. So this condition, this value you have given here in this condition should match exactly with your URL which you are going to trigger. Right, so here I have configured for the first route like attributes start query param start branch. If we receive this branch value is Hyderabad, it should execute this code. This code means here we have only logger as of now. So maybe just Hyderabad branch. Maybe just I am in Hyderabad branch. I'll just add one logger condition, and along with that, maybe let's add some set payload, some payload. Okay, that's okay. You can give like welcome to Hyderabad branch, something like that. Okay. So just like that, let's add all the three conditions and add these same components so that it will, I mean, it will make you understand how we can test this. Right, so here also, I'll just copy paste, but here it is Bangalore. I am just going to add the log statements first. And let me drag and drop the set payload here also. And let's give the same. But this time we need to change it for Bangalore. But we have not yet added the condition here. So condition also you can just copy it from here. Click on this when condition here, enable this function and paste it here. Attributes start query param start branch equal to this time it should equal to Bangalore. If we send query parameter as Bangalore, it will execute this particular two components. It will enter into this block, it will execute these two components. Okay, just like that. Let's copy the same condition in this when condition also, enable the function, paste it. This time the value should match with Delhi. So if the query parameter is Delhi, then it will execute this logger and this set payload component. We will see in debug mode, you will understand much better. So let me just copy the set payload. Delhi branch, and for this choice router you will have one normal without any condition. We no need to write any condition, but we will have one default block. Default means if it doesn't satisfy any of the above three conditions, let's say instead of Hyderabad, Bangalore, Delhi, let's say if we send some other random text or some other another city like maybe Kolkata. If we send Kolkata as the branch, we don't have that matching condition available here in your code because we haven't implemented that code yet. We have implemented code for Hyderabad, Bangalore and Delhi. We have not implemented for Kolkata. So in that cases, it will execute the conditions in the default block. Okay, so that is the use of this default block of this choice router. This is available only for choice router, this default block. For other routers, it is not available. Okay, so if all the above conditions are not satisfied, then it will execute default block. Then in that default block also we can write some message like maybe this is default section just for our understanding. Okay, so that's it. After choice router, maybe let me add the one more logger. So to add after choice router, you need to check this vertical line. See, if you have this block line, it will add another condition. So whenever it shows, just add it here. After choice router. So it will check all the conditions one by one. If any condition satisfied among these all the three conditions, it will continue the execution to the next component of outside of the choice router. Okay, let's see. So let's run this in debug mode and see how it will get executed. So to check that, I'll just I'm just putting the breakpoint here. Only here, that will help at least. So okay, let's run this in debug mode. What is the URL? Choice router and 8089, right? So yeah, okay, fine. So let me just run this in debug mode. So right click on your project, debug as Mule applications. As we don't have environment or secure keys, nothing here in this simple project. We can just say it like run as Mule application or debug as Mule application. So we are in go down. Okay. So now, so once it is deployed, maybe we can just run, see all the three conditions and all the default condition also, so that you will get better idea about this choice router. So basically you need to remember, if there is any content based routing required in your project, means based on the content we received. Here also we can see like based on the content. So which content? It means here in our case it is query parameter. So based on the content you received, if you have a requirement like based on the condition, so based on the content value, you need to execute some set of flows, some set of components based on the condition. You can just go with this choice router. This choice router pattern is also in integration patterns also is there. I mean, in one of the integration pattern, this choice router, that is nothing but content based routing, that name itself. So just remember, if someone asks you in interview like what is a content based routing, if you know something like that, you can say, yeah, we have a choice component in MuleSoft. That by using the choice component, we can implement content based routing. We can add as many as conditions. Based on the condition, if any condition is satisfied, means like it will check all the conditions one by one. If any condition is satisfied, it will execute the components inside that condition block. Something like that you can explain in interviews. Okay, so yeah, it is deployed now. Let's test with Hyderabad first. Let's go to this. See, we put debug point here. It just entered into the choice router. Let's click next. So it is checking the Hyderabad condition, and the Hyderabad condition is satisfied. That is why it entered into the Hyderabad block. So it will send. And then see, after executing all the components in this particular when condition block, it just went outside of the choice router. It is not checking all the other conditions. It will check this condition. Yeah, it is satisfied. Okay, fine. It is executed this route and it will come out. The control will come out. Okay, so you will get the response. Okay, once you click next, you will receive the response like welcome to Hyderabad branch, because this condition is satisfied now. So let's again test with Delhi condition. Did we add the same Delhi here? D capital, yeah. Okay. So let's see by triggering this. Once you trigger this, you will see here in the attributes, you will see query params, and you received query parameter like branch equal to Delhi. So that condition only we have written here. So it is just outside the choice router. Once you click next, see it will enter into the Delhi block here, the third row. See, it is entered into the third block because the query parameters we received is Delhi. It is matching this condition. Right. So once we click next, Yeah, it will execute all the components in that particular block. As of now, we have only two now. It will execute all the two, and then it will come out from the choice block. It will execute the next components outside the choice block. Right? You should receive the welcome to Delhi branch. So as I said, like let me just give my name. Just click send. So how it should behave now? See, it entered into default black because the name which we are sending, I mean the value which we are sending for this branch query parameter, it doesn't match with all the three conditions which we have written here. So that is why it will go to the default block and it will execute. This is the default. So let me just complete that. Then you will get the response like this is default section. So like this, based on content you received, you can just route or you can execute some set of flows or some set of components based on your requirement. See, in real time, sometimes what you will do, like if this is the Hyderabad branch, it should go to the database call. It should call the Hyderabad branch database. It will pull all the branch details or book details available from that particular database. So in that case, you need to add one more database connector here in this same block because this is the Hyderabad condition block. You can add the database connector also. So after it will execute database component also and it will pull the details from the database, then it will come out of the choice router. So just like that, if you have any specific requirement, you should add that component related to that requirement. You should configure it and then this choice router will work for you. So I hope you got this usage of choice router. Let's see another router. Okay. So I'm just moving to Mule perspective. So instead of this, I mean, in the same project, let's create one more flow for first successful this time. Let's see that. Okay. I'm going to just minimize this. Just drag and drop another HTTP listener. You can use same listener and path name. First successful I have given. So let's add a logo after that. It is just first successful flow. Just anything you can add. So now let's drag and drop the first successful router. So you can just drag and drop it after this logo. See, for this, if you observe the difference between the first successful and choice router, for choice router, once you drag and maybe I'll just show you. Once you drag and drop the choice router, it will add default block also. So if nothing is executed, no condition is satisfied, it will execute at least the default block. But if you see the difference between the first successful, there will be no default block. So as many as routes or as many as you can say routes only. So as many as routes you can add. Any it's not any. If any first one is successful, then it will not execute the other conditions. We have maybe three conditions. If first condition is went a successful way, then it will not check the other two conditions. Okay. So to check this, maybe let's add the set payload. See, once you have this black line, you can add this set payload. Route 1, route 2, route 3, maybe we can say. Okay, so I'll just rename the display name as well as the text route 1. So the second one also we can say route 2. And third one route 3.
I would just like to demonstrate this with some simple payload. Okay, in your real-time requirements, I mean real-time projects also, you might have this kind of requirement, because this is not the regular requirements you will get. Sometimes any rare cases, if you found any thing like this, you can use this successful if you have, I mean for successful route if you have any requirement, but this is very rarely used. So let me add the another logger after the route. As of now I am not using, I mean I am not giving any exceptions and all. Let's test this, then you can understand once we will run this. Okay, so end of first successful. Okay, so let's save this. So as of now we just added what, only just payloads. So all three routes are successful routes now, because there will be no errors or nothing we can see. So in this case how it will behave, let's see this. Then let's add little custom error. I'm just copying this path to test. Okay, so maybe, yeah, instead of this I can just give this. Okay, let's run this in debug mode. Debug as mule application. So once this is deployed, let's test that first successful flow. Yeah, it is deployed now. So maybe let's test this once. Yeah, I run it in debug mode only, right? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, see, it went to first successful. So once you click on next, it will execute first flow. So if it is executed successfully, then it will go to the logger, right? So it will not execute route 2 and route 3. It will end the flow. Because the first route itself is successful, there is no errors. Okay, so now let's see, let's add one custom error. So to add any custom error, what component we need to use? Rise error component, right? We have seen this in our error handling videos. So type, you can say custom test, or you can give anything. Description, this is custom error. So this time what will happen, I have added a custom error here. So if first route it will execute, till here it is executed successful, but it throws an error. So it will not went out of the router, it will execute the next flow. If it is successful, then it will went out, I mean come out of from this first successful. Because any of the routes, if it sees it is successful first route, then it will come out of the scope or come out of the flow. That's it. If you have any requirement like any of the first route, if it will successful, it should execute some kind of flow, something like that. You can use this first successful. Okay, let's save this and let's see. This time first route itself throws an error, so it should execute route 2 and it will come out. Earlier if you observe, route 1 is successful, so it will not went for the route 2. Okay, so maybe, yeah, let's save this. It will automatically deploy custom. Could not find error custom test. Okay, so Maybe just to demonstrate, I just add this. Or else let's maybe add validation errors also. Try to replicate that. Okay. Let's see if this is not executed. We might have add some kind of validation errors, and we can make this work. It got failed. That's okay. We can try to see um, validation URL. Let's say is null. Payload is null. Our payload is number. So our payload is string. So if it is null, I mean if it is number, it will execute successfully. If it is text, it will throw an error. So in this case, we don't need this rise error component. So let's check for this payload. Payload is a number type is integer. If a payload is in our case, payload is what route one, which is text. But this validation module, what it will do, it will validate the incoming payload or any other variables. You can do that, right? Okay, it got failed. Now let's test this. Obviously, it is not number, so it will throw error. Let's see if this time it will execute the second flow. Don't worry, sometimes it will throw that default port error. You can just rerun this, no problem. That's why you should not use this 6666 port in your any of your HTTP listener. That is dedicated to debugger. So now let's test this. So obviously it will check for the first route. Yeah, now it throws error. See, whenever the first route throws error, it will come to second route. Now this is successful, so it will come out. So what will happen for the error? It will not show any error. It will show you what is a successful route it execute. It will not send you back the error also. What is the error? Like that. See route 2. So any error occurs in the first route, it will not give you the error object. Also, it will not execute that. It will execute the second flow. If the second route is executed successfully, then it will come out of the scope. It will not execute the other one. So like this, you can use the first successful router. I hope this is helpful for you. In our next video, we will see other routers also. Okay, thank you.